Faith Forged in Fire, where we dive headfirst into the unique challenges and triumphs that comes with being a firefighter, all while exploring what it means to live out a biblical worldview. Join us as we find hope, perseverance, and faith in the midst of the heat and chaos. Welcome to the podcast.
Looking at.
Dude,
What is going on here? The bear is bitten.
don't pick on it.
Don't pick
That's Jake's
the
support animal.
orange bear.
I thought you were my support animal. Lil Jerry.
The bear is orange.
We promised that we would try to keep the train on the tracks
Sorry,
a little
we
bit
tried.
longer.
All
We
right.
tried.
Last
We did our
thing, though.
best.
Have you heard that new album Lil Jerry dropped? Sorry. Wow. Nice shot.
The bear is
All right.
orange.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yes.
Oh, are we recording?
We are
Yeah,
recording.
we are recording, gentlemen.
First of all,
Yes.
we'd like to apologize right up front.
for our behavior, our inappropriate behavior.
Yeah, for those who watch or listen and are not first responders or firefighters,
What's wrong with these guys?
that's exactly what they're thinking. Everybody else understands that this is just normal. But
I don't know. My wife still thinks, wow, what's wrong with those guys?
I know.
Can hear what she says? Well, you.
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and these are the
I do,
people that are
actually.
saving
She's
lives.
I know.
That gives a lot of
Pretty blunt
encouragement,
about it.
doesn't
America's
it?
best. America's best right here.
You got to be a little crazy to do what we do, I guess.
Little nutty.
Anyways, well,
Little
welcome.
nutty.
We are glad that you're here.
Lil Nutty.
Little
If-
nutty.
Lil Jerry.
Yo, yo.
Oh, man.
If we can pull this together,
Listen.
What?
Lil Nutty, Lil Jerry, we're doing this. Let's go.
Go. Let's do it.
That's right.
Get the glue to put it together.
Word up, Lil P.
I thought you grew up in Chicago. What was the
Chicago, huh?
the Brooklyn
The
accent?
Bears. The Bears.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
I know. Let's
Start over.
oh, I think
right.
it's all gone. I was going to play his music. I got to get his music back.
Oh, yeah.
What happened to the music? Where'd it go?
I think it's gone. Something happened.
Is
I don't know.
yours?
We loaned it out, remember? And then everything got broke.
What a jerk.
That guy. Who's
Actually,
that
we
guy?
didn't pay the subscription like
No,
we
we
apparently
didn't.
didn't
I
pay
know.
for heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. In all seriousness, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Lil Nutty, get Lil Jerry a blanket. He's cold.
Oh, wow. Oh. Uh-oh. Yo, there's tears. There's tears involved. There's tears involved in the laughter. Get him. There we go. Get some tissue. Tissue. An emergency box.
Quick, who knows CPR?
I know. He's choking. He's choking
of
on
us
the, on the caramel apple.
Nobody here does.
Come here. Lil Jerry, where's your life alert?
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man.
That was a YouTube moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Are you okay, everybody?
No.
Tears are happening in the studio.
We've got a serious conversation today, too. How are we going to do this?
Tears of joy.
Do we have anything more lighthearted planned? We can pivot
Exactly. Like last minute.
and then
pivot.
do the serious one next month.
We tried that. We tried to get this out of the way last week, and it didn't work.
I know.
Apparently.
All right. Let's go. Let's get serious. All right. Time to get
All
serious.
right.
Let's go.
My bad, Lil Peach.
So the question we wanted, the topic we want to talk about today is what happens when God changes our plans.
Yes.
And when I say changes our plans, not like, I got held over from my shift at work,
Planned on putting out a good podcast. this week.
or we plan on putting on a good podcast, but literally like our lives.
I'm really trying to hold my composure.
Our lives
We're good.
changed drastically. So I, if you listened last week, thank you for making it through because it was definitely.
It was a
We
little scattered.
tried to get it all out of our system, but
It was
apparently
a
we
little
did not.
We had a little holdover. today. But now
holdover.
we're good. Now we're good.
So my life has changed drastically. I have been in pastoral ministry for my entire adult life, my entire married life. Even in college, when I was in Bible college, I was working as a youth pastor in churches. In high school, I was helping lead a youth pastor. He's got himself going, is what I think it is, or he's making jokes.
I won't smile. I'm going to look straight ahead the whole time.
I can't. So, anyways,
stare at the camera.
God has changed that and moved me into another job, and still at our church. Excited to be faithful members at our church, and but I am now the executive director of a church planning mission board. So it's still ministry.
Awesome.
I'll still be preaching, but just a lot of the things God has taught me here over the last 11 years. Now it's an opportunity to do a little bit more with that and do some other things. So I'm super excited about it, and that's why the podcast is why we're moving to another studio. They've going to be doing some YouTube and stuff for them, and so they need a studio, and they're gracious enough to allow us to just move our chaos down there too. So anyway, that was really hard for me for a while. Hard for our family. I really thought, and it wasn't. I mean, so I guess let me say this: sometimes God takes us out of a good thing, changes us out of a good thing, and puts us in some better. I really thought that I would retire as a pastor and probably the pastor of this church. That was where my heart was. That's what I thought. And when God began to change that, I struggled with that. And I wanted to talk about that because I think it's something for us all to learn, because now that I'm out of this, now that we're through this.
Yeah. Good thing I brought those up in the bathroom downstairs.
I am trying my hardest.
I know you're doing a
and
great
if you're
job.
if you're listening and not watching, the reason I'm just kind of stumbling along is because there's still somebody over here crying.
Yeah, there was so much laughter in the studio. People are crying, almost wetting their pants over here. And it's like,
Again, this is a good YouTube video.
it's a great YouTube video.
Go
This is how
watch
much-
us on YouTube.
So people just know
over
really
there.
quick how much fun
Listen.
we have in the studio. We have a great time together.
Yeah.
And that's when we make each other laugh. And sometimes we got to be more serious because people are listening. But yeah, we have a good time, and that's a good thing. But
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm
No,
good
you-
now. I'm not going to check my phone.
No.
And
no.
I think
You want to read it?
no.
He does not want to read it.
no.
So
Not
when
out
we
loud.
move studios and we separate them, we're also going to put a basket for phones.
Yeah, exactly. Phones will go. Like the
Listen,
schools do that.
yes.
The
This
basket
is
goes
just
in the phone.
carryover laughter. I'm regaining.
You're doing
my
great.
composure.
You're doing
Thank
great.
you. Sorry, folks.
I'll tell little Jerry to be good.
Yeah.
There's just too much with it.
Too many things. It's just compressing back in the brain.
Yes. There's so many things I could say. We just wouldn't stop laughing though.
Yeah, that's true.
So I am.
You're doing great.
I'm
You're
good.
doing great.
I'm good. I'm sorry. We're good.
Okay. All right.
So anyway,
Back to the little
Yeah.
I apologize.
Also,
yeah. So my wife and I were talking about this after, as we've come through this and now into the new job, the new chapter, because it's changed for everybody, changed for the whole family. Thankfully, the kids are excited about it. I mean, in a ministry, in a job like this, there's travel that there'll be going on. Like it's not just I got a new job that I'm going to, but it impacts my whole family. So as we're talking about this, one of the things that I think is really good that's come out of this is now that we're into the new chapter in life, I'm in it for the long haul, right? But it's not necessarily on my mind, well, I'm going to retire doing this. It's not that I'm thinking I'm not either. It's more I'm in this for the long haul. I'm in this wholeheartedly, but I don't know if I have no idea what God might change, right? Because he did that when my heart was very settled And so now it's that realization and that reminder. As much as I have preached that we hold our plans loosely, I was the one that had to realize I was holding my plans too tightly. One of the verses that I keep coming back to is Proverbs 16:9. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. It's good for us to plan. It's good for us to have goals, but we have to hold those a little bit loosely and let God work with them. And this change has changed things for me, even in the fire department. Obviously, I love being a firefighter. I love being on the fire department. But by nature, now I'm not 2 minutes away all the time. I'm in another town where I'm working now. And so I can't run as many calls, and I feel a little more disconnected. And I had to do that before when I was on Rich's fire department. I would go to a job and I ran calls in the evening or weekends like a lot of other people do. So I never took for granted that I was in the town and I was available most of the time, and I really enjoyed that. And so that has been hard for me just to kind of get used to that. We got a call this morning and I watched the engine drive by my house and I couldn't go because I was leaving. I had something to do. It's just so there's a lot. It's not just one thing that's changed. God has changed a lot, and I'm super excited about this. But I thought it'd be really good for us just to take some time and talk about this, because I don't know who else might be out there who's struggling with who knows what, like whatever they're holding on to that they don't want to give up, whether it's a fire job, whether it's a position in the fire department, something else outside of your work. I don't know, but it's a good opportunity to remind ourselves to hold our plans loosely and trust God, because we never know what He's going to bring.
Well, I think that's part of serving God and doing God's work. You have to step into it knowing that things can change. That's part of your service to God, and His will be done. So.
Well, one of the things we bring out a lot in our church that I brought out, Paul often, as he writes a letter, he refers to himself as a servant.
Yeah.
But if you look at the Greek word, it's not servant, it's doulos, which is slave.
Yeah.
People don't like to talk about the fact that I'm a slave of God.
Right.
He purchased me. That's what Scripture says.
Yeah.
I was bought with a price. Therefore, you are not your own.
Right.
Yeah.
Therefore, glorify God with your body. I'm not my own. And so He can do with me whatever He wants.
Yeah.
The key is, how do I react to that?
Right. Yeah, and it's easy to get kind of caught up, not to talk too much about like the glorification of the fire service, and talk about the glory of and let's be on. There's not a lot of glory in it, but it's just seemingly right. A lot of people get into it for that what they think is glory, but there is seldom times that it's I don't want to say glorified, because it's glorifying to God, but it's not glorifying to yourself in serving God in that role and allowing yourself to be a slave to God, right? So yeah, it's easy to get caught up in that, but again, that's where you have to come in with that perspective of where you're at and why you're there and what you're there for. We've talked before on this podcast about just being here temporarily. This is not our home, right? We're in the mission field. This is just we're here for a reason, and so it's important as believers to keep that in the front of our minds as we go out there every day.
Yeah. I remember I was at the larger department that I'm a chaplain on. I was there doing a 24-hour shift and with some guys that really love the Lord, and they were having this conversation about just how often they wonder if they're going to have a whole career there, or what does God have for them next. And it really challenged me. And here I'm sitting there as the pastor, right? I'm a pastor who would tell anybody, man, if God wants you to give up your career to go serve Him, do it. Yet here's these guys working a job that many of us look at as a dream. Other firefighters look at that as like, man, if I could have that job, that's like the dream job. And here they are going, I think there's, there might be something more out there the Lord has for me. And I'm like, just to listen to those guys think about giving up that security That I was so encouraged by that. It challenged me, and that's why I thought, there might be some people out there who maybe are firefighters in a good, secure job, but maybe God's pricking their heart a little bit, and they're like, there might be something else out there. There might be something else for me to do. And I would encourage you to listen to that. I've said before that this all started with, what we often describe as the still small voice of God, the Holy Spirit just prompting, right? And I was praying and saying, Lord, if there's something else you want me to do, show me. And there was nothing. Which I was thankful for that. And then all of a sudden there was this kind of still small voice, and it became almost like I describe it as a nagging voice. And that's just because I didn't listen the first couple times.
Right.
But maybe you're there and you're listening and you're like, yeah, but I don't know what to do with it. I'm scared. I don't know what's next. Let me tell you, I walked into this thing. I still don't have all the answers.
Right.
And I had to come to grips with that too. Like, I don't need to know all the answers.
Yeah. Well, I truly believe too that, like you said, you're stepping out in faith, which sometimes I'm not saying that you're going to do so with a fearful heart, but God's not necessarily going to make you all warm and fuzzy about it either, because he wants you to step out
in faith.
In faith, right.
Right.
And be uncomfortable.
Right.
Well, I've always said, and going back to my journey, I've always said the moment that you truly trust God with something that's difficult and you watch what comes about of it, you'll do it every time.
Yeah.
You'll do it every time. Mm-hmm. Hey, I told you guys about my story. I'm not supposed to be sitting here right now. That was never part of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and what did God tell Joshua after Moses died? Be courageous.
Yes.
Yeah. Go out and be courageous. Yeah. And so that's where and it's easier said than done at times. But I think, our demographic is kind of the public safety sector and fire and everything. The word courage gets thrown around a lot, but it's one thing when you are well prepared and well trained and well equipped to go handle a dangerous situation. It's easy to say you're being courageous. Let's be honest, you're well prepared. It's easy to be courageous in those situations. But to step out into the unknown and to take that step of faith, you got to be courageous to do that. So and one of my favorite books is called Wild at Heart by John Eldredge, and he talks about being daring.
Good one.
And yeah, I love that. And then he had a follow-up book called The Sacred Romance. Every bit as good. I would encourage any of you to check online and get those books. But he talks about being daring. That's kind of how he illustrates stepping out in faith, is being daring. And it's like almost a call to action or a challenge to be daring. And you can compare it when you go hiking and you decide, you know what, I'm going to go a little bit farther, or I'm going to climb this this steep hill or cliff. I'm going to hit the whitewater rapid. There's so many ways to be daring.
Yeah. But
sometimes the hardest thing to be daring with is stepping into the unknown, stepping out in faith and trusting that God has a I don't want to say has a plan. That's just so, I don't know. I hate cliches. So it's it just seems so cliche, like, oh, I know the plans I have for you. That's not what I'm saying. It's just putting your full faith in God, that those tugs at your heart are true, and that there's going to be somebody there to catch you when you decide to take that leap.
Right. Yeah, and I get it, because I'm with you. I don't want to be cliche, but the reality is God is ordering his eternal plan is far greater than anything we can comprehend.
Yeah.
And he is ordering that. We're just a mere small part of that. And there is a point where he calls us to just trust him. So you don't have to have all the answers. This doesn't necessarily make sense. I had a couple of weeks ago one of those moments of kind of waking up and laying in bed and thinking about, like, and it's crazy what happens when you're 100%, that this God, you've already seen God put the pieces together. When we made the final decision of, yes, we need to do this, the peace that we, like, there's no doubt that we're moving forward the way God has for us.
Right.
Yet I still lay there and I had this moment of, what in the world am I doing? And there's just that fear of like, I'm not supposed to, I can't do this. And then immediately the words of Paul come into my head of, that's exactly where God wants you, because you can't do this. And Paul says his strength is made perfect in your weakness. Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. It's not this cliche, oh, I'm stepping out in blind faith. Right. It's a matter of knowing I don't know what God is doing. I don't see the end, but I don't have to see the end. I know that if this is what he's asking me to do, he is going to equip me to do it. I saw a quote in the middle of this that said, just remember, when God asks you to do something, he already knows how stupid you are.
I saw that too.
It's like, I needed that,
Yep.
Well, and we wonder what, you think about what our purpose is, what God's purpose for our lives are. And it's not about us. It's about how God's using us with other people. And so when I go down a road, of change, I go, all right, well, I guess my time here is done and there must be someone else. And again, let me rewind and go back, is when I came out to Michigan, I'm thinking, man, I had this great thing going on in Arizona. What's going on here? And I never would have thought that I'd been on a podcast and God using that podcast. And we're seeing all the fruits that are coming from the podcast now. Yeah. I mean, look at how many emails we're getting and the comments and things that people are saying. I mean, God's using us to reach people that we'd never be able to reach before on a local fire department. And look where it's going. And this is just the beginning, right? So look at all the lives that are changed. If I would have said no when that moment happened in Arizona, where I was, it was on my heart, and God was saying, "Look, it's time, Steve. Your time here is done. I have another purpose for you in Michigan." If I would have said no, this may never have happened, or at least never got to the level where it's at today, right? So how many lives would have been affected? Never maybe were ever affected in a positive way. I mean, we've had emails, again, we've had a great email just, a few months ago from when all the Charlie Kirk stuff happened. That we remember that never would have happened potentially if it wasn't for partly me like saying, all right, Lord, I'm going to walk away from my whole life in Arizona and trust you, walk away from my pension and all those things that people glorify here on planet Earth. I'm going to walk away from all of that to go into an unknown, to get an email like that years later. It's like, oh my goodness, what a cool, this is maybe the only thing where, that incredible email we got, maybe even if it's for that, lives are affected in an incredible way.
Talk real quick on, I'll preface it with this and I'll kick it over to you. When I was very, very young in my faith, and we've talked before. We got to do an episode on churches and what comes after somebody gets baptized and they accept Christ into their heart. And then like, where do you go from there? Because though we had a youth group and all that growing up and everything, there was nothing for that. Like, okay, what's that next step look like? It's like, oh, great. All right. And that's it. It was just, there was nothing. So what I struggled with at that point was trying to find God's purpose for my life.
Right.
And so I remember praying profusely, God, reveal to me what my purpose is in life. Tell me what my purpose is in life. Show it to me. Give me a sign. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't, because the point is, we should going back to scripture, seek first the kingdom of God. Yeah. And we're going to be used. We're going to be used. And so I know I struggled with it. And that was a big struggle for quite a few years in my youth. So I want to kick it out there because anybody else has been struggling, even if they're just young in their faith or if they are just an adult who's struggling with that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the key to that, and that's a great topic. I'm hoping that's what Chief is doing right now, but drop that in our list because that's right up my alley.
Why are you watching someone else's podcast?
We can have a 2-hour podcast on that one. But the simple answer right now would be do what's in front of you to do. Right. Be faithful to what's in front of you. And then as God gives opportunity, then step through that. Here's a simple example. And I mean, even my life, I wasn't looking for something else. God just, when you're moving, I've got a friend who always says he can't steer a parked car. Right? We've got to be moving. Right. Steve just talked about this podcast and just what God has done. How long have we been doing this now, Rich? 2 or 3? Well, we might be pushing 3 years now. Or is it 2 years?
No, it'd be 2
years. Must be 2 years.
Because I think I came in 6 months into it or something like that.
Yeah,
when did you come in?
About a little over a year ago. I think it was a little over a year.
Was it 24?
Anyway,
It's the end of 24.
either way.
All right.
Either way,
I don't remember.
not to get derailed. The point being, it was, for one thing, you say, where do we go next? Well, Rich was in that boat when he came to Christ. Where do we go next? You know where he went next? Just kept coming and studying the Bible with me, for one thing, and that's what a lot of churches don't do. So that'll be part of that topic.
Oh yeah,
and we still do when we're not recording on Wednesday nights for podcast.
Yep.
Him and I are meeting for Bible study almost every Wednesday night. So it was through that, right? So first of all, we're obedient. We're just getting together and we're studying the Bible together. And then God, the Holy Spirit prompted me like, hey, maybe you should fire that podcast up that you had again and you and Rich should do it. You know, again, I don't know. This doesn't make sense. Nobody's going to listen. And then we started and we almost quit. Because we were getting discouraged.
And it's not like you didn't have anything else going on at that time.
And that's the other thing. We had a whole bunch, right, even just ministry-wise.
Looks like our first our first YouTube video,
which would have been our first podcast.
It came out October 24th, 23.
Wow.
That's what I say. I felt like it was. Yeah, I felt like it was longer than 2 years.
We only got 128 likes. Or 128 views, so people need to go back to there and let's ramp
that up a little bit.
Like boost that up.
So, anyways,
wow, 2 dislikes.
That was Jake and Steve.
Yeah, exactly.
The point being, we just started being faithful.
Yeah,
and then God kept moving, and it's that way in all of life, right? To help to speak to that. Now, there's more we can speak to there.
Sure.
A quote that I've seen before, and in the midst of all of this in my life, it came back that I wanted to share. It's from Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Some of you may know that, some of you may not, but he says this. He says, the disciple simply burns his boats and goes ahead. He's called out. The old life is left behind and completely surrendered. The disciple is dragged out of relative security into a life of absolute insecurity, out of the realm of the finite. This is where it gets good, though, because that seems bad, right? I'm taken out of this, and he says relative. It's not like actual security, because we know life falls apart in the blink of an eye. It's not actual security. We just think it is. So we're dragged out of that into something that we now cannot deny. We are insecure, right? We have no answers for this. But now here's where it gets good. He says, out of the realm of the finite, just what we can see in front of us, into the realm of infinite possibilities. So when we're willing to burn the boats and move forward, the possibilities of making an eternal impact are infinite.
Burn the boats.
Burn the boats and go.
Burn the boats.
Right. So here's
needs to be our new
we need a new coffee.
New motto. And I was just thinking, like,
burn the boats.
Great new coffee, actually.
We do,
I
man.
See faith, ship sinking on fire.
Faith forged in fire. Burn the boats.
Burn them.
There you go. We need an eye patch. Burn the boats. So I feel like I'm the one doing most of the talking.
I'll put one on my walker.
Gonna get him going here. So another one of those,
leaving it alone.
We don't know what our decisions do. So thinking back, many years ago, I was a little kid, and my parents were challenged with what are you going to do with their life, and they burned their boats. They stepped out in faith, left with this relative security into complete insecurity to become full-time missionaries with Continental Baptist Missions.
Yeah.
Right? Little would they have known then that would be, if they hadn't have done that, I wouldn't be leading that mission today.
Yeah.
Right. Not to mention the person who brought that up wasn't me. It was a person in our church that they're discipling and pouring into. God would have never brought them here. God would have never, like, you think about the domino effect of a step of obedience frontwards.
Yeah.
I mean, what if I would have never said, yep, I'll go and be the chaplain at Solon? What if I'd have never taken that step?
Yeah. That is, and I love Christian apologetics. I watch videos. I love it. And that is one of the big arguments for the sake of creationism and all that, is there are so many things have to fall in place for our world to be the way it is, to be so perfectly suitable for us to inhabit. Mm-hmm. Just the odds of it randomly happening is just so asinine. It's so far against the argument for the Big Bang Theory and all of that. And so, but it's the same thing, and it's fun because we get to see that in our everyday life of when we reflect back, and it's like, man, if this didn't happen, I wouldn't be here, and if this didn't happen, and if this didn't, if these things didn't fall into place, and what's even, in my opinion, more fun than that is to look back and say, man, if I wasn't daring.
Right.
If I didn't burn the boats, if I didn't take that step, if I would have said no and stayed in Arizona,
right.
Yeah.
None of these other things would have happened.
Yeah.
And it's not because I did anything. It's because it was already, God was already
His plans were already.
They were set.
Yeah.
They were set.
Exactly. So I know I've shared this on this podcast before, but this is a perfect place to share it again. I do not remember where I heard this illustration, but sometimes you just hear this thing where you're like, wow, and you just don't forget it. So here's I think this might help some people, and I've thought, again, because I've been there, I've been thinking about this. If I were to bring one of you guys, let's say I found a 4-hour movie that you'd never seen before, and I put it on a big screen in here, and I started playing it, and I brought Rich in for 30 seconds of that movie in the middle of it. And I let him watch it for 30 seconds, and then I took him to another room, and I said, "Who's the main character? What's the plot? What was going on? How in the world could he ever tell me what was going on in that movie?"
Right.
When you think about eternity and then our lives, we're like, it's like a 4-hour movie, and we're in 30 seconds of it. Yeah. And the plot writer already knows the plot. He already knows the end, and he goes, "Oh, I need him right here."
Yeah.
We don't know that. So when we start going, oh, all the pieces fell together, well, duh. Because the plot writer, God, already knew that.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so when we have that paralyzing fear of, I can't do this, we have to go, no, the plot writer, he's asking me to fill this role.
Right.
Literally, that's what it is.
Yeah.
He's asking me to fill this role. He's going to give me the lines. He's already got it figured out. Right. I just have to step into this role for this moment.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You're doing great, man. You're doing great.
Hopefully we can encourage you guys. I don't know who's listening and struggling with, like, man, maybe the Holy Spirit is prompting me to the next thing, or prompting me to do something that's hard, to burn the boats.
Yeah.
Like, man, if we could go into the new year, I mean, by the time you're listening, it's still January when you're listening to this. So, so it's still the new year.
Still relevant.
Burn the boats, man. Get out of your what we feel to be secure. Step into the insecure, what seems insecure. That's the crazy part too.
Right.
The thing that seems secure to us is temporary. The world, the things in the world. The thing that seems insecure is the most secure thing we could step into.
Yeah. Yep.
And then just watch what God will do. That's what I keep, like, I have no idea. I'm a month into this new job. I'm as we're recording, I literally started doing it full time on Monday, and this is Wednesday. So I have no idea in the world what God is going to do through this. But I'm excited because I'm like, there's going to be something.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have never guessed when I came here as pastor 11 years ago, what I would look back on. How much God has changed my life and other people's lives. Yeah. Never in a million years would I have said, well, Rich is going to be, He's going to be loving the Lord and doing a podcast with me. No.
That would have been a bad bet.
That would have been a bad, right.
That's what I was thinking when you were talking about all the things. It's like, and I don't even know where you met Chris. I think he's probably the first one that you met that was on Solon.
Yep. Church, the other church I was at.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Yep.
what would ever happened had he went to a different church?
Right. Right.
You know, so you start talking about all these teeny tiny little pieces. What are the odds that
Right.
Chris happened to go to the same church that you were going to?
And if it's the same Chris that I know, what if he wasn't who he was? Who was somebody who was always trying to recruit people?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Oh,
What if-
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
What if he
Right.
wasn't so outgoing and
Because
trying to
it
always-
was, and he
Yeah,
was.
okay,
He
so that's
was
what I'm
like,
saying.
yeah.
Every time I saw him around somebody else, he was trying, like somebody not, he
Right.
was trying to recruit them, like it was his
Yeah.
life's mission.
And
So
yeah, you think about that. You start talking about all these little things that had to line up just in the right way and the right place. And
Well, so let's play this out. We've talked about some of this before, so let's play this out. Everything lining up in the right place. God would start to do some things in my heart. I went to a seminar, and the pastor that was leading the seminar challenged and said, how much time are you spending with unsaved people as pastors? That convicted me. I'm like, well, I'm with people, but I don't know that I'm like 100% intentionally pursuing them. And his challenge was, you need to make time and you need to start praying God gives you somebody that's not saved in your life.
yeah,
And so again, obedience, right? I was convicted and I started praying. Well, I didn't even live in the same town. I was still the chaplain, sort of like, but I wasn't active.
right.
And I get a text from Rich, like, if I bought a Bible, what kind of Bible would I buy? Literally, like, and
that's when PJ stopped and went, Lord, look, I was praying for somebody. I can only do so much,
This
bro.
guy.
Yeah, not this
But
guy.
if he would have texted me 6 months before that, I would have said, I'd have given him my answer and moved on with life. But because he texted when he did,
Yeah.
I went, oh, I have been praying for somebody who needs the Lord. Maybe God just dropped somebody in my lap, right? Like all those little details because of obedience in the first place.
Well, and to the listeners out there, you're hearing it from us. I mean, these are guys have lived it. I mean, and again, please,
And not perfectly.
No,
by
but
any
I'm saying
means.
it. But I'm saying is that one of the things that we do on this show is we're very transparent in who we are, and we tell stories, real life things that happen. This isn't made up stuff. This isn't scripted.
You couldn't have picked a more random average Joes to throw into a room to do this podcast.
But we do it, and this is not pats on the back. What this is just real life. Like this is where we have made the decision. Us four gentlemen here have made the decision to live for the Lord, and in living for the Lord, it's not easy. And it's not. I mean, I hate to say it, it's not always fun sometimes because sometimes you go through some really really tough times, right? But in doing that, we've been obedient and we've felt led by God to do the things that we're doing in life. And you know what? At the same time, what a blessing! I mean, there's so many stories. So please, reach out to us if you're something you have questions about or something you're like kind of curious about.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you.
Or maybe something you're struggling through, but you don't really want to tell anybody because you think you're crazy.
Yeah,
So, okay,
exactly.
that is what I want to touch on because you said this is not a pat on the back because I'll tell you when again, being a new Christian, one of the things that drove me nuts and really drove me from wanting to even go to church were the saved ones. I put air quotes in case you're not watching. There you go. You know what I'm talking about. The ones who act like they have it all together.
Yeah.
The ones that are, seemingly holier than thou in the sense of they act superior because of it. And experiencing that was incredibly negative. And it was honestly, it was a detriment to my walk. But when you're saying, we're not patting, ourselves on the back, I would just want to reiterate that us being able to come here and just be transparent. It's not us patting ourselves on the back. It's realizing that we are imperfect.
Yes.
And it's accepting like we're in a world full of sin. we can't change that, but we know someone who can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so that's where we come off, is that's where we're coming from. That's the place that we're coming from, is this realization that we're not perfect and that we're no better than anybody else. Like I said, you couldn't have picked a more random group of average Joes to throw in a room. We're no better. We're just, man, we're living life for God, and and we struggle too. It's not that, we've said this 100 times too. Your life doesn't become perfect by becoming a Christian, and accepting Christ. If anything, it's more challenging. You've got a mission now. I
am not my own now.
You are not your own now. Yeah, it is truly. And so, if you are new in your faith, look back and ask yourself, did I burn the boats? Look back, because if it's still sitting there, grab a box of matches.
And sometimes we have to burn the boats more than once, unfortunately. Somewhere along the line, we find another boat.
Who keeps? We burn someone else's boat.
Well, when you say we're not perfect,
arson,
the thing that goes through my mind is, I'm talking about this step that my family made, burning the boat, and moving forward. 11 years ago, when God began to move to bring us here, I didn't want to come, and I fought him. Yeah. And he worked on me, and it was like, oh, why did I do that? This was amazing. Why did I not do that? God knew what was going on. And then 11 years later, what do you think I did? I fought God again. And I have said, like, why didn't I learn 11 years ago that when God says do something, just go do it. Don't fight him.
Fortunately for you, God already planned for your stupidity.
Right, exactly.
So there you go.
Exactly. I don't know where I found that, but I don't know where I found that second boat, but I realized, like, I'm on a boat again. You must have shared
that quote with me, because I remember seeing it.
I probably did.
And I thought that was pretty funny, too.
I probably sent it to the group,
I needed to see it. So look back. Did you burn your boats? Are you a dead man walking?
Yes, we are not. Exactly.
There is a theme here that we keep coming back to, and this is it. And
dead to myself.
I would really encourage everybody to take that kind of introspection. Look at where you are, and I guess that's my challenge to everybody listening is, look back and see if you burned your boat.
Yeah, that's a good spot to leave this.
And to go back on your thing about the holier than thou, if any of you, especially new Christians, are around people that are holier than thou, run. Those are not examples for you, because a real Christian is not holier than thou.
No.
A real Christian, and the guys you want to surround yourself are the guys that are being transparent and honest and being real with you, because that's where your growth is going to be, because what you're going to see in those people is real faith. Because I'll tell you right now, any Christian guy that tells me he has no problems and everything's wonderful, you're full of it. Or you're not walking with the Lord. Because any man that's walking with the Lord is struggling at times, is going through it, that is what's real. Hey, look in the Bible, and you won't read outside of Christ. You won't read any story of anybody there that's got it all together all the time, they're all a train wreck, every one of them, and they're all going through something in some respect. There's a reason for that. So. That's great.
Steve Lander.
Yeah, Lander.
Not to toot my own horn, but I like to toot the horn of my train wreck. It's on its side. Toot toot. Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
Well, and if you know what, and if you want to talk about this, so if you have any questions, there's a great place you can start.
Where can they send? Yeah, where can they send those, Steve?
ffifpodcast@gmail.com. Write us. Here's the deal. I'll even talk to you. If you have any questions, anything you got going on, if you need someone to talk to about that and say, hey,
we're opening up a therapy.
I know.
I was just thinking those where you can pay a celebrity to send you a message.
Have a recording.
That's what Steve's doing here.
You can call the number to get a recording. I'll come back next month.
I'll make it simple. Burn the boat.
And the guys, I'd be like, guys, my phone's blowing up. No, I never should have offered that. No, but I mean, honestly, if someone will reach out, because again, we want you to know that it's okay to trust God, man. I'm telling you, we've lived it, we've experienced it, and the blessings that will come from that, it will blow your mind. It'll be amazing. You'll really see God at work. So, but go to the podcast, and then
get yourself some Dead Man Walking coffee.
And where do we go for that, Jake?
Go to redflannelcoffeeco.com.
Is it stocked up yet?
It is. Wow. Go burn your boat.
Wait till he says it is, because I'm going to hold him to that. every week he's going to ask the same thing.
Yep.
Is he stocked up?
Yeah. Oh, man.
All right. Well, thank you so
That's
much.
a good problem to have, Jake.
It is a good problem.
It is a good problem to have.
Especially if we cause that problem because
Absolutely.
of the podcast.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So, well, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.